A lot of the time I'm scratching around for content on these lunchtime videos. This is not the case at the moment. There is so much going on in the world of West Ham. It's almost impossible to keep up. Later on tonight, we've got a cup of tea for our patrons. Later on this week, we're doing a mug of tea. And we've got previews. We've got so much stuff coming out. And we've just got so many subjects to cover it. Because quite frankly, the club are imploding. Both on the pitch and off the pitch. I've had so many messages over in the comments below these videos and just sort of privately and whatnot, with people saying everything's very negative at the moment. Your videos are very negative. I get it. Absolutely, 100%. The videos are negative, and that's because West Ham at the moment is negative. It's absolutely crazy what's going on. The owners, the board seem to have insulated themselves. They seem to have made enemies of their allies. Everyone's circling the wagons. It's crazy, and just I could literally. I'm not going to. By the way, I'm actually going to do this video about the team. But I'm just going to go and explain something, because what's happened is, if you'd seen my video the other day, you'll know that because of the forced apology, because of the way the press, I think they felt a little bit put out by the threat of legal action. The press yesterday were doing the written press, so many articles against the ownership of West Ham. I just think it's completely backfired. So now you've almost got a situation where the press have aligned themselves with a lot of the disgruntled fans. Hammers United have released a statement yesterday, which is, I'll tell you what, we're going to go on to that. We'll discuss that in the cup of tea. And I've got to be honest with you, it's hard to disagree with anything that's been written there at all. So we're going to look at that anyway. But what I thought was, do you know what? I'm going to at least try and do something football related, because it's all so political at West Ham, and it just all gets a little bit much, doesn't it, really? So, anyway, I clicked on, we're sponsored by the One Football app, as you'll know, and you can probably see from the thing up in the corner. I clicked on the One Football app today, and it said 3 reasons why things have gone wrong at West Ham, or something, words to that effect. Oh, 3 reasons? We could probably do 20. So anyway, you can have a look at that article by all means. But it's not, and the link is in the description below, by the way. But I'm thinking, what can we do? We look really, really very relegated at the moment. But what can we do as a team to improve things? What can we do to try and get some results, some unexpected results? So here is my team, and the spoiler is in the thumbnail, isn't it? The title of the video says "Drop Sebastian Haller," so you know what's coming. But it's more detailed than that. So I've got an 11, which maybe if I squeeze over this side, I can put the 11 there. Maybe. I've not done the graphic yet, but hopefully I'll put a graphic there. If I don't put a graphic there, it's just going to look silly. They're just going to see a space and some bits and pieces that I've left on the chair. Anyway, in goal, Fabianski. Yes, he's had a Flapianski. He's done a little Roberto, didn't he? Really, let's be fair. In the last game, but he was getting tugged off by Glenn Murray. Probably that probably wasn't happening at all, was it? Let's be fair. But he was getting pulled. Actually, that's no better. He was getting manhandled. Oh, I should start again. Really, impeded, encroached, held back by Glenn Murray, which is possibly the reason for his flap. But I don't think he's been such a good goalkeeper for us since he arrived. You've got to keep him in the team. Now, right back, as you'll see, I've gone for young Johnson, Ben Johnson there. Why have I gone for him? I think he's technically good. I think he's quick enough. I think he's big and strong. And he might be a young player in terms of his age. But, you know, if you look and see him, he's a grown man. He's big and strong. And I'm not convinced with Ryan Frederick's delivery. And delivery is going to be also important, because Ben Johnson's a very, very technically gifted player. Now, obviously, yes, I'm working on the proviso that people are back fit, and the same will go with Anderson, who you can also see in the team there. But we are having such small amounts of possession that when we get the ball, we're going to have to do something effective with it. We're sitting back. Yes, Fredericks is fast. Fredericks runs up the pitch. But if you're going to concede 70% possession to the opposition, You don't want someone crossing it into someone else's legs. Also, I do think he's a little bit shaky, so I've gone for Johnson there. Next to him, I've gone for Diop. Yes, I know the old, all of that sort of thing. I'm tempted to put Balbuena there. But Balbuena made mistakes, and I just think that what we need is a settled back four from now until the end of the season. Diop is also, he's scoring some goals at the moment, and goals are quite hard to come by. I'd like to think with we've obviously clearly we've got the games coming up, but then we've got a little break. I'd like to think with a break, David Moyes and his one member of his coaching team might well be able to sort out the back line. May well be able to get things going, get things steady, just keep on drilling them until they get it right. And for that reason, I have Ogbonna next to him. Yes, again, not the best game. But do you know what? If we kicked everybody out of the team who hadn't had the best game recently, then we'd have no players left to play. So, Ogbonna, let's get it settled. And also, I'll go with Cresswell at left back. Masuaku doesn't, unless there are major injuries and, you know, something really ridiculous happens, Masuaku doesn't play for the rest of the season for me. It's as simple as that, by the way. Right, this is quite important. Declan Rice. I want Declan Rice just to sit in front of the back four and protect it, and maybe even make a third centre-back when's necessary. Declan Rice, there's been a few games recently where we've been so poor, and Declan Rice has had the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he's taken the responsibility to try and drive the team forward. He's tried long shots. He's tried running down the wing and crossing it over. I understand why he's doing it. Why is he doing it? Because everyone else is so incompetent. It looked like on many games that Declan Rice was going to have to be the defender, the midfielder, and the attacker in the game. And he's got such a force of personality that why not? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't we try and run him in there? And you know what? If he feels nobody else is up to it, if he feels nobody else got the fire in their belly, good on him. But I don't want Declan Rice to do that anymore. Because I feel with the team I picked, the other guys can go and do the attacking. He needs to protect that back four, which really do need protecting. So that energy that he was expending going forward, stay there. Just go. Cover that back line. Stay central most of the time. If you need to pop in and fill in at full back because one of them's run forward, by all means, go and do that. Souček is in there. Yes, I know it's early. We've only seen him once, and I'm aware that I've dropped Mark Noble. But I do think drastic things need to be done. I'm putting him in there because he looks neat and tidy with the ball. I mentioned a possession earlier when I was talking about Ben Johnson. I also think he's going to pose a threat from set pieces. I'll be very surprised if Souček doesn't score between now and the end of the season. I think there's goals in him. I also think, again, at set pieces, when we are under the cosh, I think he's another big guy to have in there to head the ball out as well. And the guy I'm playing next to him is going to be the fornicator. Paulo, the fornicator, Fornals. Harshly dropped from the team. I'm aware that there's not much pace in the central midfield. But believe it or not, this team is designed for pace. Just not in that area. So, Fornals. Again, technically good enough. We surrender the ball too much. I'd just like to think if Rice can give it simply, I think Souček and Fornals will be able to play simple balls. And maybe even, in the case of Paulo Fornals, play a relatively incisive ball. I also think he's got a couple of goals in him. Maybe 1 or 2 goals between now and the end of the season. Believe it or not, let's say Souček and scored 1 and Fornals scored 2 between now and the end of the season. That may well make the difference. That could make the difference between staying up and going down. I know Mark Noble's got a goal-scoring record from penalties and all the rest of it, but he doesn't always score from open play. And quite frankly, I think the guy needs a rest at the moment. So that would be my midfield. This surely should be clear what's going on up front there. We need to counter-attack. And we do try and counter-attack, but everybody's too slow. These three ain't. If everybody else can keep it tight and everybody else can sit and everybody else is soaking up pressure, I think if we spring on the counter-attack, you've got everything there. I think you've got finishing. I think you've got heading. I think you've got strength. And I think you've got a real cute eye for a pass. in Felipe Anderson. I also think, by and large, those front three will be quicker than whatever three are marking them. Don't hold me to that, by the way, when we play Liverpool or anything like that. But you know what I'm saying. Our safety is not going to be won and lost by what happens against Liverpool. Bowen, yes, we've not seen him, but come on, and yes, Snodgrass has done well in the last game to get a couple of goals, but this guy scores. This guy has an eye for goal, and we brought him in for a reason. It's also his position. Right there, that is his position. So let's bring him in, let's do something. Felipe Anderson, okay, he might not be fit now, but this is to get us between now and the end of the season. I think he goes in. I think he has to play for all the reasons that I said. I think you try and get him confident. You try and get him up there. And again, if he's running at people, if he's stretching the defences and he's running in behind, he's going to be creating space for others. And anybody who's going to want to double up on our man in the middle, Mikel Antonio, he is the key to the remainder of our season. How many games we got left? I don't know. Maybe I should have checked 13, something like that. Mikel Antonio doesn't have a great injury record. He may only play 10 of those 13 games. He may only play 10 games. Mikel Antonio may only play 10 more times for West Ham United. Sounds depressing. I mean, a lot of these guys, that may well be the case. You could say that for a lot of them in there because, quite frankly, we go down, this team gets absolutely decimated. Maybe not a bad thing, some of you might say. This team is a bad team. Well, the squad, whatever. They've got us into this situation. Yes. It's like their One Football app story said 3 reasons. Well, what about the owners, the manager, and the players? Maybe that's why we're in this situation. But whatever. We need to get the most out of Antonio. We need to get the very best out of Antonio. And we need to provide him with a platform. And most of all, what we need to do is we need to give the opposition something to think about. We need to give the opposition something to worry about. So when that team sheet goes in, they don't just think, oh, it's West Ham, they're going to do their normal thing. They're going to sit back, but they're not going to be able to hurt us on the counter-attack. They're going to look at that and think, right, okay, they're going to have to make, the opposition have to make special provisions for us. Maybe they chuck an extra defender in there. Maybe they do something. But any time that the opposition is changing their tactics because they're worried about you is a good thing. That gives you more opportunities within the game. Let me know what you think. That's my team. We'll be back tonight for a cup of tea. Loads of videos up and coming. I'll just keep... It's unbelievable what is going on at West Ham at the moment. It is thoroughly depressing, by the way. I've tried to do something a little bit positive. Do I think this is a good team? Yes. Do I think this team could keep us up? I don't know. But it's worth a punt. It's better to go out on your shield, surely.